Hi, Kerry here. Still in Savannah, Georgia, and you might notice I'm in a pretty unique place here. This is the lobby, the reception lobby of the JW Marriott Hotel down by the river. It's actually a conversion of the power plant here, and as you can see, it's very unique. It looks like a stainless steel dinosaur in front of me, and then throughout here, there's all kinds of displays of very old crystals. It's very unique. And what does that have to do with the subject of my video titled Palantir, Overpriced, Overhyped, Not Worth the Risk? Well, it was written by Seeking Alpha, Canon Mel, and Canon is basically saying that Palantir is just another SaaS company, which stands for Software as a Service company, and that they're overpriced and they're overhyped, and there's some built-in flaws. I'm sorry, Canon, but I don't agree with your analogy. You compare it to companies such as OKTA, CrowdStrike, and Zoom. The one of those that I am most familiar with is Zoom, and I'd agree it's nothing like Zoom. Zoom is just a plug and play. So I want to dig into this a little deeper and see if the video that I did back on May 27th is right, or if Canon's right. The video I said on May 27th is I want more. So let's dig into it a bit deeper and enjoy the atmosphere here at the JW Marriott. I'll be right back with you.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
Okay, I think Palantir is a very unique company, and I think Canon is missing the boat here. As I said, my most familiar of his comparison is Zoom, and Zoom is a plug and play. I don't see Palantir as a plug and play. I've had experience where I think the company was SAS. I was, about 3 years ago, I was trying to write a program specific to my needs and relative to my financial planning practice, or my son's financial planning practice at that time. And I spent about 3 weeks communicating with SAS to find if they could write a software to achieve what I wanted. And after 3 weeks, we determined that no, they couldn't. Kenneth says that's a negative relative to Palantir, that unlike the others he's comparing that are a plug-and-play type software company, Palantir, it takes, he says, several weeks to engage with them, and this makes them unattractive. Well, I would say if, in fact, you do engage with them, and you are a substantial company, you'll probably never disengage with them. Whereas Zoom, I see that Microsoft and Google and Amazon are after my Zoom business every time I go on either of those software packages, and someday they will probably come up with a better product and take me away. The other problem with that kind of business is it becomes very price sensitive. Whereas if I'm dealing with Palantir and they have built a software program for me that is specific for me, I'm not going anywhere. And if there is a raise in price, I don't have much choice. I have to stay where I'm at. It's almost like you engage with a utility, and I don't have much choice with the water company. If they want to raise my price of water, I have to pay it, or I go thirsty. And so I don't agree with Kennon's assessment that it is overpriced. Now, is it overhyped? Yeah, I think it is. I think you can find any number of articles on it, whether it be Seeking Alpha or Motley Fool or here on YouTube. It is a hype because they have been in the news. They were attributed with helping us find Osama bin Laden. They've been credited with saving some of the airlines from being hacked. They've been in the news. So are they overhyped? Possibly. Are they overpriced? I don't think so. He also alludes to the fact that a lot of the employees are compensated in shares. And that is a negative, because he says as a result, your shares get diluted. Well, I want to look at it at a different way. If I was an employee of Palantir and I was making a good wage and they offered to pay me in US dollars or Palantir stock, well, I know the US dollar is devaluating, and because we keep printing more of it, whereas there are only so many shares of Palantir, even if they pay me with shares, and it's, I believe, an appreciating asset. So why wouldn't I take part of my compensation in shares? And I, as an investor, am aware of that, and I'm good with it. Personally, I'm good with it. If on the other hand, the employee said, no, please, pay me in cash. I don't want any Palantir shares, I'd be concerned. I'd say, if they know more about it than I do, so maybe I don't want to own that stock. So Cannon, I don't follow your logic there. The other thing I think it to recognize is Warren Buffett often talks about buy companies that build a moat around themselves. Well, I think that is what Palantir is. I suspect that if you engage with them, they build you a product that is specific to your needs and then help you service that product or use that product and pay you or charge you a maintenance fee. And that's why their margins are substantially higher than other SaaS companies. So these are all pluses for me. Now, is it going to take a while? Are they profitable? Yes, it's going to take a while, and no, they are not necessarily profitable at this time. But then neither was Google, neither was Facebook, neither was Amazon. When you change the world, when you provide a service that requires an infrastructure, you're going to have to build it up. You're going to have to take any profits that you do make and reinvest it in your product to keep that moat built. To just have a moat and not maintain it and expand it is foolish. So I don't buy this. I don't buy his analogy. So what are the risks in here? I don't see a risk that somebody is going to duplicate them. I don't see Amazon stepping into this space or Google. I don't think this is what they do. The risk, I guess, is that if they drop their guard and they get hacked, and if the news comes out that Palantir built this system for this government, for this airlines, for this power company. We're in a power company, what used to be the power station of Savannah. That's a risk. That bad press would be a risk that I would think would cause some concern. So what am I going to do? I don't believe they're overpriced, overhyped, are not worth the risk. I think they're worth every bit of the risk. I currently have 375 shares. I had said back on May 27th I was going to try to buy it if it dipped below 20 a share. It has not, and so I have not added to my holdings. I would basically say the next step is for me to double my holdings. It's still only going to be less than $20,000 of my portfolio, so it's not going to be a large part. But I'm looking for companies that are going to change the world I live in. And as a result of that, I'm very heavy into biotech. I'm very interested in genome sequencing because I think that is going to be a major change. But as those changes occur, more data is acquired, more data has to be analyzed, and Palantir, particularly, think of it from the perspective, if I'm right that our medical world is going to change dramatically, that's the most valuable data that anybody could have. So it's going to need a very, very sophisticated system of software as a service, and I think Palantir is the answer. So, as I said, I don't think it's overpriced. I don't think it's risky, or I don't think it's overvalued. I'm buying more. Okay, that's my take. Again, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer, the host of Best of Us Investors. We like to invest in companies that are going to be long-term plays, that are going to take advantage of the changes in the world that we live in. And if you want to become a part of our tribe, just go to Best of Us Investors down here and give me your name and your email address, and I'll send you a link to our Discord and check it out. And if it's right for you, join us.